Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Always Sometimes Monsters. Let's continue. I kind of need to rush here because I'm running around the city doing things, and as best as I can figure, I'm just trying to get money. And what is this? Looks like a dirty mackerel in here. Take the fish, sure. There's a lot to do right now. Probably not a good time to sleep. Hey, you stole my lunch. Oh, I'm sorry. Here. I ain't got nothing to say to you, the damn dirty lunch steal. I really didn't know it was you. Here, let's give the lunch back. You can have it back today. It was stinks anyways. You gave him the dirty mackerel. I'm not gonna... Maybe I go in the bank and rob the bank at this rate. I'm gonna end up sleeping on the outside at this point. Open the box. What's in the box? Look inside the box. Yes, there's nothing in here. Okay. No mail for me today. It's gotta arrive soon. Alright. We said we were gonna work with help the old lady clean her house apartment. I wonder if Miss Toast still needs my help. Hope I'm not too late. Then again, Dark Elf did mention I could work code check tonight, and I could use the money. Who could that be? Hello, who's there? It's me, Jill. Oh, come right in. So she's got a nice house, Mr. Girl. I'm here to help clean up. Oh, you're a little late for that, Jill. It's alright though, I managed to get it all done by myself. Still, I'm glad you came. You're such a good kid. Well then, I guess you don't need me then. I was just about to sit down to dinner. Would you care to join me? I was thinking of going to work coat check down at the club. I'm pretty hungry. Let's eat dinner with her. She's probably lonely. So what's for dinner? It's a fresh lamb stew. You're gonna love it. Come have a seat. We wouldn't want it getting cold. Sounds great. You won't believe how hungry I am. There's plenty to eat, so don't worry about it if you want seconds. I actually probably don't need food, but correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you say you were expecting guests earlier? Don't tell me I'm the only one who came. Oh, I never explained, did I? Tonight's my beloved Thomas's birthday. Every year, we have a special little dinner together. Tidy up the house like you propose and make my favorite meal. An old-fashioned stew. Is Thomas the cat? Oh, that sounds really nice. When's he coming? Oh, well, he's not exactly. Thomas was my husband, but he's not with us anymore. Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about, Jill. We had a wonderful life together, and he's still with me every day in my heart. I'm glad you're here, though. Sometimes today can be a little emotional. It'll be nice having someone else to talk to for a change. So, that's kind of what I thought. Salad? Hush, it's good for your digestion. You'll get your stew afterwards. So we eat the appetizer, salad. I mean, why are you gonna really complain about salad? I'm so glad you decided to join me. It's nice to have your company for a change. Oh, it's no trouble at all. Let's be nice and not just say I was starving. I'm not really starving. It's my pleasure, really. I appreciate the kindness, Jill. It being kind of lonely living alone these days. Well, considering I'm eating out of a microwave most nights, this is a real treat. Didn't you cook for that boyfriend of yours very often? What was his name? Bob, wasn't it? Oh, we'd eat out more often than not. We were both pretty busy, you know. Oh, I understand life can be pretty hectic in these days. Life sure does move a lot faster than when I was your age. How long has it been since you last saw each other? I always remember he was so polite. We'd bump into each other nearly every morning as he was heading out the door for his morning jog. It was funny, the things you miss about a person can often be what you take for granted. The cool part's that you never know what you're doing You never know you're doing it at the time, but such is life, I suppose. Yeah, I guess. Let's say I miss him a lot. I think that's true. I really do miss him quite a lot. It's been about a year since we last saw each other. I still don't feel the same. Believe me, I understand how you feel. When you're so close with someone, their absence can be hard to deal with. I won't lie to you, that sadness you feel now may never go away. You're luckier than I was, though. You still have an opportunity to mend the rift. Oh, I don't know about that. Life's changed a great deal for both of us since we parted ways. Bob's not even in the city anymore, I don't think. It seems he wanted to get as far away from me as possible. A decision like that can be made in an instant, though. Who's to say what it really means? For all you know, Bob could be regretting leaving you as much as you do. I'm not sure about that. It ended rather rough. Things between us ended rather roughly. There's a reason we don't talk. A lot of feelings were hurt, probably past repair. Be that as it may, you're not a mind reader, Jill. A good relationship like that one you had doesn't die so easily. Actions can be amended and feelings can be healed. The only thing that truly divides people is time apart. You can't be so sure you know what's going on in someone else's heart unless you ask them yourself. I suppose you're right about time apart dividing us. I'm not even sure if he's the same person anymore, to be honest. When I look at how much I've changed in the last year, I can't imagine Bob stayed the same. Oh, you've changed less than you think, Jill. Call me a nosy neighbor, but I've watched you come and go in this building for quite a while now. Tell me what you think is so different about you today versus a year ago. You wanna know how I've changed since Bob left? My work has changed. Definitely. My lifestyle has changed. I guess the things that changed most is my work. I've made a lot of progress on my book. I mean, it's really starting to feel complete. Oh, I had no idea you were nearly done. Do you have a release date yet? Well, it's not quite that ready yet, I guess. There's still a bunch of it that needs revision, and I haven't really figured out the ending. Oh, I see. Not so different after all, then. No, I guess not. So, being the same person you were a year ago doesn't have to be a bad thing unless you think it is. Don't forget, that's who Bob fell in love with in the first place. Yeah, but it's also who he left. So now we're on the main course. So how are you enjoying the stew? It's really quite good. What's the meat in this? That's fresh lamb. I got it from the butcher this morning. Feel free to have as much as you want. I got used to making rather large pots of it. Every time I make it, my Thomas would eat at least 4 bowls just by himself. There was never any leftovers back in those days, I'm afraid. He sounds like quite a character. How'd you meet? So we're just going through this whole conversation with her, trying to be nice. I'm really playing this game hoping that fate will step in and I will end up having $500 at the end of the day, but I suspect there's no way actually to have that much money without maybe a perfect solution to the game. There's probably only one pure path that probably involved getting the heroin, selling the heroin, getting the cheap drugs instead of the real happy pills, and probably to get that much money also means doing a lot of bad things, which is probably a bad ending. But right now we're just trying to do something nice. Do you mind on asking how you and Thomas met? It's a funny story, actually. It happened the summer after I finished high school. He was working in a garage near my house and my father hired him to fix our old jalopy. Interesting. I wouldn't have assumed that there would have been pictures like this in this game. This seems like more work as far as animation than the game creators would have spent. I wasn't working at the time, so when my father asked me to pick up the car for him, I had no choice. I didn't even have a license at the time, so I was terrified the whole day, imagining myself getting it home. Well, that certainly sounds safe. How did you get away with driving illegally like that? It was a different time back then. We didn't worry about little things like that. I was scared, but that wasn't going to stop me. I hated disappointing my father. So I showed up at the shop, scared out of my wits, and there he was, covered in grease and sweat, a real man's man, if you know what I mean. Thomas could tell immediately I was clueless, and must have asked me if I needed help a dozen times. I was stumbling on myself with how cute he was, so I just kept telling him I'd be fine. I wanted to get home as quickly as possible before I said or did something embarrassing. I was so distracted thinking about him that I crashed straight into the stop sign barely 20 feet away. Wow, that's kind of a new model car. It looks way too new of a model of car for her age. Thomas, the sweetheart, charged right over there to see if I was okay. There wasn't a scratch on me, but the car was in pretty rough shape. I was terrified I'd get in trouble with my father, so he'd been so mad to find out he would have been so mad if he to find out what happened. Thomas, sensing my dismay, offered to fix it for free and tell my father it needed more time with it to keep me from trouble. His only condition was that I agreed to go dinner with him that weekend. So I feel like I might be finding a story path that's important to unlock. We may be looking for story paths like this throughout the whole game. Of course I said yes, and the rest is history. Love's funny like that, isn't it? Was it the accident that drew us together, or was it the attraction that caused the accident? Sometimes I think these things are just meant to happen, you know? Sounds like you two were made for each other. What was your life like? So what was your life like with Thomas? Well, it wasn't perfect, but they were by far the best years of my life. I trade all of them, the ones I've got left, just for one more lazy summer afternoon with him. When we were young and everything was new to us, all we needed was our love. It didn't matter how poor or hungry, as long as we had each other, we were happier than pigs in mud. We had such grand dreams for our life. We planned to travel the world together, see exotic places as a pair. See, this looks like a kid, but I think it's just her looking over the bills slouched over. Eventually, though, the bills started piling up, and so Thomas started working longer hours to make ends meet. There were times when we'd have debt collectors knocking on doors, and I wasn't sure we'd make it. I thought myself foolish for being so idealistic in our youth. Reality hit us a lot harder than we expected. I resented him working so much, even though I knew it was necessary for us to survive. He would be frustrated with every mistake I made, feeling how far it set us back. The stress of it all would cause us to fight over the most ridiculous things as we scraped by. See, I think this is probably a metaphor of this whole game, is do we focus on the money issue, or do we focus on the relationship issue? Still, our love was strong enough to make our tensions always fade away once we vented. We always made up and vowed to double down on our efforts to make our dreams together come true. We slogged away hoping that we'd have a few extra pennies to put away at the end of the month, but we never got far. As we got older, things got easier, but we were too tired and beat to do anything about it. So you just gave up on your dream like that? We were comfortable and happy together. Eventually we realized that's all we really wanted. It doesn't matter where we were or what we were doing, just so long as we were together. Besides, it's more than a little impractical just packing up your life to chase silly ideal like that. Sometimes I regret it though, especially when I wonder where we might have been when they started enlisting. when I think about it, it's hard not getting angry at myself for not trying harder. But then, how were we to know? I'm sorry, it's a very painful subject for me. So Thomas was drafted in the war. So how did he die? Do we want to really go down this route? I do. I want the information. Apologies if it's a touchy subject, but how did Thomas die? I didn't really like talking about it, but it's a fair question, all things considered. It just makes me very sad to talk about it. I'd really rather not. I can only imagine how painful those memories are. So I could either say never mind or talking helps. I think talking helps. I know it might be hard, but talking about this stuff helps sometimes. Well, I suppose since you've talked about your problems, it's only fair I talk about mine. I guess things started looking up for us the year before we were even concerned with the war. We saw the news broadcasts and heard stories from friends about the troubles, but we never thought we'd be involved at all. It was all just happening half a world away. We weren't in danger, so we never paid it any mind. The whole affair was someone else's problem, and then the letter came. I did my best to let go of the fear of losing him, assured myself that as a mechanic he'd never see combat. In his letters home, he's always joked that it was more likely he'd die from boredom than from bullets. I can still remember the faint smell of gasoline that soaked its way into the paper. His awful spelling. Almost every day there'd be a new one for me to read. He must have spent as much time holding a pen as he did a wrench. Like a lot of wives in the town, I blamed the post office at first when the mail stopped showing up. Then days turned into weeks and we all knew something terrible had happened. By the time the news officially reached our neighborhood of the bombing, we were already grieving. I was told he died a hero, that he died serving a valiant cause, but I know he never really felt that. You may think of soldiers as brave, patriotic souls, but he wasn't a soldier. He was just a mechanic. He was just a mechanic who wanted nothing more than to travel the world with the women he loved. I never fell in love again after losing him. I don't think I could have, even if I wanted to. When you lose someone that really means something to you, it chips away a part of your heart forever. I'm so sorry, I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything, Jill. What you need to do is understand. Life doesn't connect us with the perfect person more than once in life. I know this. Once you know who they are, don't waste your time with them fretting over petty things. If you truly love them, do anything and everything to keep them by your side, or be prepared to lose them forever. There are no do-overs in this life. Once they're gone for good. Yeah, I can see what you mean. I just love ice cream, don't you? You don't hear me complaining? I have a really nice time this evening. I'm very happy you decided to come by. Oh, it's no trouble at all. I'm glad I came to you. Still, I want to thank you for spending your time with me tonight, so I have something for you. What's this? These are my husband's baseball cards. He used to collect them when he was a boy. Some of them are quite old. They're probably worth quite a bit of money. I want you to have one of them as a token of my appreciation. You can keep it as a memento, or I'm sure someone will be happy to pay you for it. You can't be serious, can you? Please, I know how much you could use the money right now, and they're not doing me any good. They're just in the box. I can't even bring myself to look at them anymore. I won't take no as an answer from you, so don't even make a fuss about it. I just don't trust myself not getting all weepy if I were to see which one you're taking, so I want you to pick by the time I return from the washroom. Just close the box when you're done and we won't say a word about it. Understand? Yeah, I understand. Alright, I'll be back in a moment. Wow, these cards are ancient. I bet they're worth a small fortune to the right collector. I couldn't do that to Miss Trigger though, could I? She said take one card, but it seems like I could take all three. Seriously. Though, I gotta make a decision here that's a little less than logical. Like, if she didn't have any sentimental value to them, I would take them all and sell them, and maybe I'd have $500 there. But honestly, there's nothing in that apartment I really want. And sleeping on the street in a video game doesn't really seem like that big of a deal. And I really don't want to give $500 to the landlord just so he can kick me out next week. Which, frankly, if you're behind on rent, it is very common for people to demand a month in rent and then kick you out anyways. Just take the money, because as soon as you go in their minds from being a good tenant to a bad tenant, they want you gone. Most people have waiting lists as far as apartments and landlords, so paying the money probably isn't even going to help. In the real world, that happens a lot. I'm going to take no cards. I can't do this. I know I'll probably regret this later, but I can't do it. It just doesn't feel right, and I'm sure I'll pull through some other way. I hope I made the right decision. Thanks again for having me over, Miss Twigger. You're more than welcome. You're such a good kid. Here, take this with you, some leftovers from dinner. And now I'm getting another Steam pop-up. Man, I didn't realize how often those popped up. Take some leftovers. We got some food. A young person like you needs to eat. Well, it won't pay my bills, but it's better than eating junk food. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself and have a good night. It's getting late, so I'm off to bed. Alright, good night. So it's nighttime, and it's getting pretty late on beat. I could count up my pennies and see if I can get my rent paid. Between $89 I've got in my wallet and those $0 stored in my bank, I've got a grand total of $89 to pay rent. That's not enough for me to get back in my bed. Maybe I can scrunch together a few more bucks, but it looks like I'll be sleeping under the stars tonight. I better go and find a comfy street mattress. So, check the mail, I guess, until the cash happens. And let's see. I guess I want to go here. Let's do this. Let's save the game. And we're at 334 of fate. Before we were at 334. Let's spend $1 in this. Luck, make a wish. Goodbye, money. You threw $1 in the fountain. And now let's look at where we are when we save. Well, it didn't increase anything. It just lowered the amount of money I have. Interesting. So, I kind of want to go talk to other people, and here's a guy that's sleeping here. Let's go talk to this guy. This bed is spoken for. You best get out of here before something bad happens to you. So there's other homeless people. Looks like they're closed for the night. I don't think I can be so nice in this game. I think decisions are going to have to be made, Would you mind not bothering me? Some of us have things to do today. I have to remember to bring my poetry scrapbook with me. I could read some of it to you. Then again, you'd probably hate it. So the drug dealers are not on the street either at nighttime. Seems like nighttime pretty much shuts down everything for people. Some people say sleeping on the stars is good for the soul. Those people who usually don't park next to dumpsters, do they? I think later tonight I might go buy myself one of those delicious bacon bombs they're selling over at the burger joint. I should try to find that dog some food. Interesting. Found another collectible. He runs away, so I guess I need some dog food or something. There's the Empire Pub, grocery store, phone. Sorry lady, gas leak they're fixing down the road. So it seems like maybe we can't go to the employment center, which suspiciously is right there. Getting a real job might be a good idea. Probably need some fishing gear if I'm going to catch any fish. Oh, this is water? This one I can figure out how to open the safety lock on my medication. Well, I'm sure it's fine. Really? I can help you with that. I can open your medicine for you. We could probably cook some food over the fire. Let's see. Microwave directions, pizza. I need a microwave to cook those. Interesting. Can I cook the leftover stew? I have plenty of stamina still. You best not be looking to sleep in my bed. I'll punch you all over and steal all your bread. Okay. Oh, am I gonna start eating pigeons at some point? That would be kind of gross. Did I talk to this guy? I like to read the Daily News Times every morning while I'm eating my breakfast. You'd be surprised what you can find in there. Can I do anything with this car? Nope. And this guy I think is supposed to be here to help. What's new? It's been a long day, but I'm beat and heading to bed wherever I can find one this evening. Hey, you can't get back into your apartment. I'm sure you can always find a dirty mattress somewhere in town. That's if you can find one. Gas leak to the east moved a bunch of the local vagabonds to our side of town. They seem nice enough, but I doubt any of them are likely to share their squatting spot. Alright, well there's a mattress here. It's kind of dangerous and unsanitary. Should I sleep outside or stay awake? I guess I'm gonna sleep outside. Well, hopefully I don't die in my sleep. Now the cold will certainly kill you. It's been almost an hour and 30 minutes, or close to that, and we're sleeping, and we've now been taken to this new section, which I just hit the start button and I moved upward. That's weird. And I can't hit B here. So I don't know if I'm doing a flashback here as Jill or if I've moved to another character. For the length that they say this game is, I must either skip to other characters or picking a character must not really matter. And it may just be different sprites. And that might very well be the case. Because It seems like we're definitely going to spend 30 days with Jill if I can keep her alive that long. I'm going to start running out of food. I'm not going to get enough money for the apartment. Getting back in the apartment doesn't really help too much anyways, unless I find I lose something or don't get as much stamina by sleeping outside. So we'll have to figure that out too. But we'll do that in the next recording. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.